Hi, good morning students. Hope you all are fine and enjoying the online classes. Today we are going to study geography. Geography third chapter, the motions of the earth. As you know, the earth has two type of motions, rotation and revolution. What is meant by motion? Motion means the movement of the earth. The earth has two type of motions, rotation and revolution. What is rotation and what is revolution? Rotation is the movement of earth on its axis. Rotation is the movement of earth on its axis. The movement of the earth around the sun in a fixed path or orbit is called revolution. First we are going to study rotation and the effect of rotation. What is rotation? The movement of the earth on its axis is called rotation. And what are the effects of the rotation? The axis of earth, which is an imaginary line, makes an angle of 66.5 degree with its orbital plane. The axis of earth, which is an imaginary line, and it makes an angle of 66.5 degree with its orbital plane. The plane formed by the orbit is known as orbital planes. The plane formed by the orbit is called the orbital plane. The earth receives light from the sun. You already know that the earth receives light from the sun. Due to the spherical type of the earth, only the half of it gets light from the sun. Only half portion of the earth get light from the sun. The portion facing the sun experiences day, while the other half away from the sun experiences night. The portion faces the sun. It experiences day, and the other part means the other part far away from the sun. That is night. The circle that divides the day from night on the globe is called the circle of illumination. What is circle of illumination? The circle that divides the day from night on the globe. The circle that divides the day from night on the globe is called the circle of illumination. This circle does not coincide with the axis. This circle does not coincide with the axis. The earth takes 24 hours to complete one rotation. The earth takes 24 hours to complete one rotation on its axis. The period of rotation is known as earth day. The period of rotation, that is, the earth takes 24 hours to complete one rotation on its axis. And that period of time, that is called the earth's day. This is the daily motion of the earth. This is the daily motion of the earth. And what would happen if the earth did not rotate? You think what would happen if the earth did not rotate? The portion of the earth facing the sun would always experience day. The one portion, which portion that would always experiences the sun, that always facing the sun, it would always experiences day, thus bringing continuous warmth of the region. So that bringing continuous warmth of the region. The other half would remain in darkness. One half always that warmth, and the other half always darkness. And the other half always remaining darkness and also be freezing cold all the time. Life would not have been possible in such extreme condition. If the earth did not rotate, what happened? The life would not have been possible. Okay, then next, tides are the another effect of Earth's rotation. The next effect, tides. Tides are the another effect. There are two types of tides, high tide and low tide. There are two types of tide, high tide and low tide. When the moon is directly overhead, its gravitational force pulls the water in the ocean and causes water to rise. This is called high tide. What is high tide? When the moon is directly overhead, its gravitational force pulls the water in the ocean and it causes water to rise. This is called high tide. And next, low tide. When the moon is farthest from the earth, when the moon is farthest from the earth, the water level recedes. When the moon is farthest from the earth, the water level is recedes. And this is called low tide. High tide and low tide. This is the motions that happens twice a day. This movement, that high tide and low tide happens twice a day. Then revolution. What is revolution? The movement of the earth around the sun is called a revolution. The movement of the earth around the sun is called a revolution. 1 year is 365 days long. 1 year of earth is 365 days long. The earth takes 1 year or 365 days to revolve around the sun. The earth takes 1 year or 365 days to revolve around the sun. You already know the earth is not that stationary. It rotates or spin around its own axis. The earth spin around its own axis. The earth revolves around the sun in an elliptical orbit. A full revolution takes 365 and half or 365 and quarter day. One revolution takes 365 and quarter day because of the elliptical orbit. For the sake of convenience, we ignore the quarter day, which is 6 hours and takes of a year 365 days. All 4 years remaining, 6 hours added up to 24 hours or 1 day. This day, that is every 4 years, 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6, that is 24, 1 day. And this day is added to the calendar every 4 years. That 1 day is added to the calendar every 4 years. And this is why every 4 years is a leap year. That is why we added the 1 day to every 4 year. That is why every 4 year is a leap year. The leap year comes every 4 years. The extra day in a leap year is formed by adding up the quarter days or 6 hours over 4 years. Okay? The extra day in a leap year is formed by adding up the quarter days or the 6 hours over 4 years. Yes, okay? Then what are the effects of revolution? Does the revolution affect the seasons on the earth? Yes, indeed. The revolution affects the season on the earth. If you look carefully, the earth is inclined at an angle of 23.5 degrees to the vertical. This tilt and the revolution is the reason that we have different seasons in different parts of the earth. Let's see how it happens. When the northern hemisphere faces the sun, it receives the direct sunrays. When the northern hemisphere faces the sun, it receives direct sunrays. So, it is summer in the northern hemisphere and winter in the opposite, that is the southern hemisphere. When the suns that get direct sunrays, that side is in the northern hemisphere, summer, and the southern hemisphere, opposite that side, that is southern hemisphere, that is winter. On the other hand, when the southern hemisphere tilts towards the sun, it gets a direct sunrays. So, it has summer while the northern hemisphere has winter. Can you follow me? The earth orbits the sun in a novel or elliptical path. You already know that the earth orbits the sun in a novel or elliptical path. So, the distance between the earth and the sun varies during revolution. The distance between the earth and the sun varies during revolution. So, the revolution causes seasons. Okay? Then, study well, and I'm going to wind up this one, and goodbye.